This is Art History with Kenneth on the KJL podcast channel, a series where timeless masterpieces are brought to life through the lens of artist and host, Kenneth J. Lewis Sr. Each episode takes viewers on a visual and historical journey, uncovering the stories, styles, and significance behind the world's most influential artists and art movements. From bold brushstrokes to revolutionary ideas, this is where the past meets creative perspective. The journey begins now.
Welcome to Art History Show on the KJL podcast channel. I'm your host, Kenneth J. Lewis Sr., and this is episode 6, Glitter, Gum, Rappers, and God, the Wild Garden of Nellie Mae Rowe. In this episode of our Southern Painter series, we step into the vibrant, imaginative world of Nellie Mae Rowe, a self-taught visionary who transformed everyday objects into bold expressions of life, spirit, and identity. From candy wrappers to crayons, she made art out of everything she touched, creating a universe that was as joyful as it was profound. She wasn't trained in any academic school, but she schooled the art world with her wild, raw, unfiltered expressions of Black Southern life. This is a story of freedom, faith, feminism, and pure, defiant joy.
Segment 1, A Life Between Worlds. Nellie Mae Rowe was born in 1900 in Fayette County, Georgia. She grew up in a deeply religious household. Her father was a formerly enslaved man who was also a talented woodworker. Rowe married young. She was widowed twice, and she worked most of her life as a domestic laborer. But after the death of her second husband in the 1950s, something shifted. She began devoting herself full-time to making art. She once said, "The Lord has called me to this work." Rowe never went to art school. She went to the school of living, picking cotton, scrubbing floors, losing love. She turned grief into glitter. The death of her second husband gave her permission to live as she pleased, and that meant making art all day, every day. Segment 2, The House as a Canvas. Nellie Mae Rowe didn't just create art, she lived inside of it. Her home on Paces Ferry Road in Vinings, Georgia became her masterpiece. She called it the Playhouse. To step inside was to enter her imagination. Dolls on the floor, drawings on the ceiling, tinfoil, plastic flowers, gum wrappers. Everything had a place. Everything had meaning. She transformed her space into an immersive, living artwork before the art world even had a name for that kind of expression. Her walls were a diary. Her yard was a gallery. Her life was the medium. Inside her drawings and sculptures, you'll find animals, angels, devils, women, and all of them spoke. Some whispered spiritual truths, others shouted coded political messages. She turned her home into a sanctuary for the sacred, the silly, and the surreal. Segment 3, Faith, Fantasy, and Feminism. Nellie Mae's work was soaked in spirit, but never stuck in doctrine. Her faith wasn't quiet. It wasn't restrained. It was bursting with color, full of contradiction, and often layered with wit. She painted herself often, but never the same way twice. Sometimes she stood strong among a pack of animals. Sometimes she floated beside angels with afros. Sometimes she stared down devils, dancing with preachers. She expressed her fears, her fantasies, her faith. She did what many couldn't, use whimsy as a weapon, a soft edge hiding hard truths. Her art wrestled with racial tensions, gender roles, and personal liberation. The women in her work are strong, sassy, sensual, never silent. Through her own mythology, Rowe challenged the world's expectations of black women. And in doing so, she made space for black women to be fully human, in joy, in grief, and in power. If you're enjoying this journey through the life of Nellie Mae Rowe, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the KJL podcast channel, and tap the notification bell so you'll never miss an episode. We've got more than just art history show. Explore the Muse Unveiled show experience, where I'll be taking everyday people and turning them into living, breathing portraits on camera. Catch the Art with Kenneth show, where I create, explain, and explore more my process live in the studio. Take a virtual stroll through art spaces with our gallery and museum tours coming soon. From big city showcases to small hidden gems. And don't miss our newest Saturday morning gathering at KJL Art Sanctuary. Coffee, tea, sip, and paint. Relax with a cup of something warm, pick up a brush, and enjoy a vibe that's all about creativity and connection. Look for the link in the video description to reserve your spot. Now, back to the episode. Segment 4, Recognition and Legacy. For years, Nellie Mae Rowe made art with no audience, no spotlight, just a calling. But that changed in the 1970s with Atlanta gallerist Judith Alexander. Judith discovered her work. Alexandra didn't just exhibit Rowe's art, she championed it. She saw genius where others saw junk. Rowe's work was soon being shown in major institutions, including the High Museum of Art in Atlanta and the American Folk Art Museum in New York. And though Rowe passed in 1982, her legacy only grew. She's now considered one of the most important American self-taught artists of the 20th century. Her influence can be seen in a new generation of black women artists, like Vanessa German and LaToya Hobbs, who echo her blend of beauty, boldness, and storytelling. Rowe didn't chase recognition, she followed her spirit. And because she did, the world eventually caught up. Closing segment, The Garden Still Grows. Nellie Mae Rowe didn't plant roses or tulips. She planted color, she planted chaos, she planted truth. With crayons, with scissors, with soda bottle caps, her garden grew from pain, from play, and from prayer. And even now it blossoms in our museums, in our conversations, in every artist who dares to be weird, to be wild, to be true. This has been Kenneth J. Lewis Sr., and thank you for watching the Art History Show on the KJL Podcast channel. And remember, stay visionary, stay open, and always dig deeper.
Thank you for joining me today on the KJL Podcast channel. Your time, support, and creativity mean the world to me. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps keep this artistic journey alive and thriving. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a brushstroke, story, or inspiring moment. Your encouragement fuels the art, podcast, and everything we create together. Stay inspired, stay curious, and remember, every masterpiece begins with a single brushstroke. Until next time, this is Kenneth J. Lewis Sr. signing off from the KJL Podcast Channel. See you soon.